Hi, welcome back to my channel, Crafting with Nordy. Today we're going to make this really cute notebook. It's very simple to make. It has a stenciled cover, which adds lots of cute detail. And we're going to use the Cricut app on my iPad. I don't have a computer, so I don't have access to the Cricut program, but I do have the app, and I want to show you guys how you can do something like this also. So keep on watching. So what we're going to show you here is how to do the stenciled notebook cover. Now I'm going to zoom in here so you can see what it's going to look like. So we're selecting two shapes for the star and the moon. And to create the whole book cover, we're actually using three shapes. We'll be using a shape for the front, the back, and the spine. And so how you do this is you're going to go to the bottom left where it says shapes, and you're going to select the square. You're going to tap on that, and just below it, it says edit, and we're going to make that 3.5 by 5. Okay, now this is going to be our back cover, so we want to get our stars. So we're going to go back down to shapes, and you can select any shape you want. It doesn't have to be the ones that I'm selecting. You can even create your own shapes and bring them in here and make your own cutout. Okay, so we're going to tap on that star, just the star by itself. And we want to get it lined up, and you see those two lines, I guess like crosshairs almost. They're going to line up and show you where the center is, and then you're going to tap out of that and select it together, the whole thing. And then just below that towards the left it says slice, so you want to tap slice, and then you want to tap out of that and then tap on the star only and hit delete on the bottom left. Then you're going to tap on the star again and hit delete again. And now you have your cutout. And you're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back down to shapes and get our square. Edit it. Make it 3.5 by 5. Okay, and then we're going to go back down to shapes, and I'm going to select the moon. We're going to center that again, right there. Tap out of it, select it together, not all those, just, I'm going to move this one out of the way. Okay, and we're going to select the moon and the cover together, hit slice, tap out of it, tap on the moon only, hit delete, tap on the moon again, and hit delete. And now we have our front cover. Okay. Now we're going to go back down to shapes, select that square again, tap on it. Now this is going to be our spine piece. Edit. It's going to be 0.5 by 5. Okay. We could zoom in a little bit here. Then we're going to go back down to shapes. And hold on, let me see, how many moons did I use on that spine? 1, 2, 3. So we need to get 3. We're going to have to duplicate that a couple of times. Okay, so back down to shapes. Select the moon. And we are going to make that, we're going to select it, edit the moon, and it's going to be 0.25 by 0.25. So we're making it a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch to fit in the 1/2 inch width of our spine. And you're just going to do the same exact thing. And you're going to put it where you want it, however high or low you want it. I'm trying to see it. I gotta zoom in a little bit. think that looks about right. Let's make sure it's centered. And then we're gonna select it together. And you'll have to do this one at a time for each one, so it's a little bit tedious. Hit slice. Tap out of that, tap on just your moon. And you're gonna hit delete. Tap on the moon again, delete, and get your punch. But I need 3 of these, so I gotta get another one and duplicate it. Tap on it, edit it, 0.25 by 0.25. And I'm gonna hit action below and duplicate it because I'm gonna need one more. Okay, I'm gonna move this one where I need it. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place them all where I think I'm gonna need them. And then I'll adjust. I'm gonna go get my stars, go back down to shape. I'm gonna select that star, and I'm gonna need 3 of those anyways, but I'm gonna make it the size I want first. So edit, 0.25 by 0.25. And then action below and duplicate it twice. So I'm gonna have 3 moons, 3 stars. We'll just use this. This is fine for now. Okay, so when you select this now, you're not going to select all of them together. You're just going to select the spine and then one of the shapes. So it's only selecting the star and the spine together. So now we can hit slice. Tap out of that. Tap the star, hit delete, tap the star again, hit delete. And then go ahead and tap the spine. It's gonna let me do it. I wonder if it'll let me do 2 at one time. Let's see. No, it's not. Okay, so it's selecting the whole spine again. And even though you can't see the shape, it's there. You generally know where it's at. Okay, now hit slice. Tap out of that. Tap on the moon, hit delete. Tap on the moon again, hit delete. And you're gonna just keep doing that until we get all of our shapes. Now we're gonna take that whole spine and we're gonna move it. And line it up with the front and back cover. It's kind of acting funny on me. It doesn't want to move the way I need it to. For some reason, the smaller pieces always do that. So I'm going to select the big one and see if that's better for me. There we go. I want them to line up. Those pink lines are up. They're lined up. Go with that front cover. Line it up. Same way. Tap out of it, select all of it together, and then just below where it says weld, you're going to tap that. And now they are all one shape. And you can see it's 7.5 by 5 inches. And we're going to go to the right corner here to make it. Have your mat ready. Make sure you're connected to your cricut. And let's see, I'm just gonna hide one of these because I don't need it to do 2 of them. I'd already did one, so. Okay, so it's gonna look like this, and then you're just gonna hit next. Make sure you put your cardstock onto your mat. Go ahead and load it into your cricut and just cut, and then we'll be right back with our final cut. And make sure that your cricut is set to cardstock so that it actually cuts through that thick cardstock for you. So now that we have our stenciled notebook cover cut out, it measures 7.5 by 5 inches, and we scored it in 2 places at 3.5 and at 4. So it's going to give us this 1/2 inch spine right here. Okay. We also have about 100 sheets of 20-pound printer paper that are also cut at 3.5 by 5. Okay. If you're using thicker paper like 24-pound paper, you'll probably want to use less than 100. If you're also using drawing paper or sketching paper, it's a lot thicker, so you're gonna probably want to use a little less than 100 for this particular size. Now we also have our front and back inside covers. They also measure 3.5 by 5 inches, and the middle spine piece is 1/2 inch by 5 inches. And this is just regular pattern cardstock that I got from a 12 by 12 paper pad. Okay, you're also going to need 2 binder clips and maybe even another bigger clip, unless you have a 3rd binder clip for the middle section. Any paintbrush that you have will do. And some glue. I have the Natural pH adhesive from Lineco, and it's used for paper, board, framing, collage, crafts, and bookbinding. And I like this one a lot. It works really well. And you're also going to need 2 pieces of chipboard to protect your covers and to help you keep your paper straight. And these are also cut to about 3.5 by 5 inches. Okay, so we'll get started here. See which one you want for your inside cover, like how you want it to sit in there. So I want this one for my front, and this one's going to be for my back. And I'm going to get the chipboard in the front and the back. And then I'm going to use these binder clips and make sure everything's straight, really good. So I'm going to put those binder clips on each side. And if you have a better way of doing this, go ahead and do it your way. Just using what I got here. Okay. Make sure that's straight. And then I'm gonna use this big clamp that I have, because I don't want my middle to be like that. So I'm gonna get it as close to the edge as I can to get it as straight as I can. I don't know if you can see that in there. And then we're just gonna take our glue, and we are going to just spread that with our paintbrush. And you're probably going to want to do probably around 3 coats of this. And just spread it around evenly. Don't worry if you get it on this outside chipboard, it's fine, because you can always use an X-Acto knife to kind of cut along where it meets and separate it without tearing any of your paper. And I just got a pack of these little brushes from, I think it was from Michael's. It's just this little Creatology paint brushes. I think I got them from Michael's. And it just has about 5 or 6, I think it's 6 of them, 6 brushes in it. That's gonna be our first coat. And we're gonna let that set up and dry. It depends. I mean, sometimes at 30 minutes it's fine. Sometimes it needs longer to completely set up before you do the next coat. But we're gonna set that aside for now, and then we'll come back to that and do our next coat. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take that small 1/2 inch by 5 inch spine piece, and we're gonna put this in the inside. Now we're gonna place the glue on the actual cover, not the paper, and just do it very, very carefully. It does dry clear, but I mean, just trying to do it as carefully as you can. Having a napkin will probably be nice too, or be helpful. Maybe even a piece of paper under it. So that way that glue is not just going completely under it. Alright, so then we're going to stick our, because we want this blue to show through to the other side, through the stencil. Just line that up. Just inside there. And where is my scoring bone? And just use that scoring bone to smooth that out. And you want to make sure it's in between those two score lines. So if you need to go a little bit, if you need to trim like a little bit more off, you can do that just before. So just test it before. Okay. As you can see, not too much, I didn't do too much glue, so nothing's like squeezing out. I do have a tiny bit here. I mean, it's not a big deal. If I gotta cut it off, I'll cut it off. But it trims away easy. And I would place something on top of this for now to give that about 10 minutes or so to dry. So something a little bit heavier just to place on top of here until it dries. Okay, so I just put another coat of that glue on. I put a little bit more, I guess. I mean, I think it just looks like a little more than the first time because it's actually going over glue now, over that first layer of glue. So it's kind of spreading out a little bit more. And it was only about 10 to 15 minutes, and it already felt pretty dry. Dry enough for me to do, I don't know if you can even see that, dry enough for me to do another coat. And this second coat, I think I'll let it dry a little bit longer than 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna go the full 30 minutes. Okay, all right, so when I went to go take the chipboard off of these, it actually took one of my inside covers off, and so I had to do it again. So that's why you see all that glue on there, which is not a big deal because you're not gonna see that anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that there and start adding our glue for the inside. We're gonna take that off, get some more glue. Actually, I should probably just, I don't want to put too much. Because I don't want this to warp. All confused now. Oh, that's not the way. I think it was this way. Okay. So it's still wet. We'll have a little bit of excess we have to cut off, but we already knew we were going to have that, so we can cut it all off together as one. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And don't worry about if a little bit of glue comes out there. It's gonna dry clear. It's not that big of a deal. You can wipe a little bit of it off and it should be fine. I mean, I got it even on the edge a little bit and just wiped it off and you can't even tell where it was at. So, any glue squeeze out, just wipe it up. And now what we're going to do is we are gonna press this book and let it completely finish drying. And if you don't have a book press, that's not a big deal. Just put something heavy on it, maybe some heavy books. And then something in between so you don't have any glue squeeze out and you don't get anything on your other books. So I'm gonna press this and then we'll be right back. Here's the finished notebook. Everything's set nicely. It didn't warp, nothing's lifting. I think it came out pretty good. I hope you guys like it. I hope you give it a try. You can use any kind of paper you like. We just used regular 20-pound printer paper. If you use anything thicker, I would suggest maybe using a little less than 100 pages. But for this particular notepad, 100 pages of 20-pound printer paper worked out pretty good. I think it'd be a cool sketchbook. So maybe some sketchbook paper. There's lots of different things you can come up with making one of these. Different designs, different cutouts. But I think it came out pretty well. We trimmed the front so it's flush now. I hope you guys like this video. If so, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button and leave me a message, a comment down below and let me know if there's any other videos you'd like, crafting videos you'd like to see me do. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.